Brian Flores case, who's now working as an assistant with the Steelers, there was a development that I had been waiting for, and I had expected this one. And this gets into the legal weeds a little bit, but it's important. In every coaching contract, there is a provision that provides that any disputes will be resolved in an arbitration proceeding presided over by the commissioner or his representative. It stacks the deck in favor of the league, of the team. Good luck prevailing when the guy who is bought and paid for by the 32 teams is the one who is making the decision. There was a statement released today by Brian Flores regarding the fact that the Dolphins want the claims against them to be sent to arbitration based on the language contained in the Brian Flores employment contract. Now, the implicit good news is maybe, we'll see, because John Gruden's dealing with this argument in his lawsuit. Maybe the NFL won't try to get the claims against it sent to arbitration. But what they're doing with Gruden is they're saying that the Constitution and bylaws require the arbitration of any claims against any team at any time, yada, yada, yada. But it's an easier argument as it relates to the Dolphins contract. And Flores' point is very simple. And we've said this. If you're serious about rooting out systemic racism, if you're serious about solving this problem, a problem that you have acknowledged, a problem that Troy Vincent, the executive VP of football operations, has admitted to on multiple occasions, if you're serious about it, let's not have this landmark case get resolved in secret. Let's not have it resolved by the fox that guards the hen house. Let's have it resolved by an independent tribunal, a truly neutral party who can decide whether or not discrimination happened. If you're really serious about fixing it, you waive this right that is in every coach's contract. Because who's going to say no? Who's going to say no, Myles? I want to be an NFL head coach. Well, you got to sign this document that says any fights you may ever have with your team get resolved by the commissioner. You're going to say, you know what? I'll just not be an NFL head coach. You got no choice. Right. They rig this thing in favor of the teams and of the league. And in this case, of all the cases, in this case, this is the one where they should waive it. It's wrong for them to hide behind a secret arbitration process if they truly want us to believe that they understand this is a problem that needs to be addressed head on.
So I have a question about this sort of legal procedurally, if that's a term. So if we're talking about the Dolphins portion of this going to arbitration, is that different and separate from what would be against, in theory, the other parties named in the suit? So the NFL, the Giants, and the Broncos?
Potentially, but, and I said this very inarticulately earlier, John Gruden's lawsuit against the NFL for engineering his termination by selectively leaking emails that he sent to Bruce Allen years ago, not to minimize what he did, but it's something that happened a long time ago, and now it becomes a thing. We know all that. But the point is, the NFL is trying to get that to arbitration under the terms of the NFL's Constitution and bylaws. So it could be, because for whatever reason, the Dolphins sent the judge a letter regarding the arbitration provision. Well, what the Dolphins are supposed to do is file a motion to compel arbitration. I don't know why you bring it up in the form of a letter to the judge. You file your response, and your response is, this should all be in arbitration. So I kind of expect that the league is going to do the same thing. Now, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll back off. Maybe the compromise is we're going to act on the arbitration provision that is in the contract he signed with the Dolphins. We're not going to try to get ourselves pretzeled into an argument over Constitution and bylaws and claims against people he never worked for, claims against the Broncos, claims against the Giants, eventual claim against the Texans. We're not going to go down that path. We'll let that be addressed in court. But I think it's a risky argument for the NFL. And one of the things I'm going to try to do, Myles, is make sure people understand it, because I think they're going to hide behind the reality that most people don't understand what this means. What this means is they are trying to brush it all under the rug. They're trying to have it all done in secret. That doesn't mesh with the supposed concern that they have to fix this issue. If they really want to fix this issue, they should welcome external oversight, not try to prevent it.
Well, and that's kind of what they've been talking about when meeting with different folks that are, leaders in the African-American community, and talking about doing different things when it comes to diversity and all of that. They're sort of presenting that, yes, we know that there is a problem and we're trying to fix it, but we're trying to fix it on our own terms. And I think if this goes to open court, then it's like, well, that's opening yourself up for further criticism and to say that we can't necessarily just deal with this on our own. And frankly, I don't think that the NFL would necessarily want to do that. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they do open themselves up to that by not necessarily forcing this thing or trying to force this thing into arbitration.
And again, there's two concerns here. One, everything happens out of the public view. Two, the person making the decision has just a touch of a conflict of interest when it gets down.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.